Hey everybody, Roger here. Probably nobody's going to be watching this at this point. It's pretty late. But it's probably the only time I have to actually get online. I have to get up early in the morning tomorrow for work. But that's kind of long overdue. I have a subscriber, and he or she, I'm sorry for assuming the gender, asks excellent questions in regards to a lot of different topics. And I wanted to go ahead and just answer them right now. I will be honest right now. I have not seen. I've only read question one, briefly looked at two, and only looked at seven. I haven't really thought about the questions, but I wanted to go ahead and answer them right now because they seem good, just from glancing over them. So I haven't taken the time to really look at them. But I wanted to go ahead and give my take. I'm kind of one-shotting this, and I wanted to give my. I'm only doing this because I wanted to give my honest interpretation of them. So, here goes. So my subscriber who sent me these questions is a guy or a girl, woman by the name I don't know which, by the name of TheSyndicate07. And I'm gonna go ahead and just read through the questions and answer them as I read them, and we'll give a straight shot. So we'll go from there. So question number one. Oh, actually, let me go ahead and give a reason. Let me go ahead and give an outline of where they came from. He or she says, talking of echo chambers, how would you answer the questions that I took from one of Matt Christensen's videos? And Matt Christensen's awesome. I love Matt Christensen. I watch his live streams. I watch a lot of his commentary. Great person. So I knew from the start that these questions, if they came from Matt Christensen, they're good. They're going to be good. So we're going to go from that. Start with question number one. How do you deal with listening to people who are insufferable and divorced from reality? That's a great question. The way that I look at people like that is this. I I don't know their lives. I don't know their take on reality. I can't say that I would understand where they're coming from. But I can say that I wouldn't look at them. I would not look at them from judgment if they didn't give me information to judge from. So, with that said, I would assume that the way that I would look at them, and this is how I do it normally with people I don't know who I've just met. Um, I would think that they would know. I would think that I would approach them with the understanding that they don't see things from my point of view, and I probably would have to try a little harder to get my point across. But I would also expect to get the feedback from them as well, assuming they're willing to mutually trade the information and go from that. So I think that I would deal with them in a tolerable way, so long as they respect me and they give me the opportunity to respect them back. You know, if it ever escalated or whatnot beyond that, then yeah, I would probably leave the conversation. If I knew that it was going to be something that they would take with them after a couple of questions or answers, I'd have to go with my gut feeling and see, is this worth my time? Is this something that I want to stay in and be a part of? I want to gain from people, and I would hope that they will gain from me. If I don't see an outcome of where it's going to be mutually beneficial to either of us, I probably wouldn't waste my time with it after a while. Though I've given a lot of effort to trying to help people out, seeing my view as well as wanting to make sure that I learn something from them. So that's how I would handle it. You know, I think it would be fair. I would if they're divorced from reality, again, everybody to a certain point on any given subject is divorced from any sort of reality. So let me see, how am I divorced from reality? Uh, I, I I don't know if this is divorced from reality, but I do believe in life outside of Earth. I don't believe that we are the end all know all. I don't believe that we are the pinnacle of perfection. I do believe that there is probably something else beyond us. That's again how I look at it. But divorce from reality, I would think that Matt Christensen is probably assuming, divorce from reality in terms of uh, uh, they live in fantasy land. With that, again, it goes back to my original answer. I would probably be uh, giving them a leeway for a little while. I you know, rub their brain a little bit and hoping they rub mine, and see if we're able to exchange ideas or not. If it doesn't work, I would probably leave it after, you know, 10 minutes or so. You know, I'm a pretty patient guy, but I also have my limits because I know that time is limited, life is limited, and there's some people, after you feel them, you know that they either want to learn or exchange information for you to learn from, and if it doesn't work out that way, move on. Life's too short. So that's my answer to question 1 on that. Question number 2. How do you deal with listening to people who, for the most part, refuse to consider opposing viewpoints seriously? That's a great question. A lot of my videos and my responses to people's comments on videos answer this, and also a lot of my real life situations. There is a person that I can think of right now off the top of my head who I put up with quite a bit in regards to alternative view, or opposing view, I should say, opposing viewpoint. And I'm not going to name a name of that person, but we think differently. And to be honest, I find it fascinating. I like digging into other people's minds who have opposing viewpoints, and I want to see why. I want to dig in deeper. Why do they think this way? Why? And I hope they ask the same question about me as well, you know. And then we would be able to ask more supporting questions and get supporting ideas as to the whys. But the key point in this question is who refuse to consider opposing viewpoints seriously. Seriously is the key word here. Okay, so seriously, you can't know if they're not going to be viewing you seriously or not until you give them a taste. So this goes back to question 1 for me. I would give them a couple of minutes. I would basically sit there and be patient with them and try to figure out, okay, well, where are they coming from? Are they trying to really take this seriously, or are they just trying to play me? Again, you're going to know after a while if somebody's going to try to play you or not. Blood pressure, not good. Hey, buddy, how you doing? I liked your last comments. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for posting. Yeah, you are a new sub. I appreciate that. Again, you know, again, if you have, I don't know if you have opposing viewpoints or not. It seems like we were kind of gelling in the same subject in regards to the last comment that you posted. But I guess going back to question number 2, if for some reason there was any sort of subject, and I'm using you as an example because you're commenting on here, if you were to not be taking any of my points seriously, you know, again, we would be looking at each other and trying to figure out, okay, is this going to be worth our time or not? And I would, if you're not going to take it seriously, or vice versa, if you think I'm not going to be taking something seriously, then I think we would amicably go our separate ways. No apologies, man. I was in the middle of a question. I basically am asking, this is question number 2. How do you deal with listening to people who, for the most part, refuse to consider opposing viewpoints seriously? And I only put you on here as an example. I'm not saying that that's what you would do, but I would just go back and just take their, you know, look at them and see if they're actually willing to take me seriously, and vice versa. I would expect that if you were to notice that I wasn't taking you seriously, or any one of my audience here, or anybody in general wasn't taking me serious, or if you feel like I wasn't taking you seriously, I would expect you to leave a conversation, or at least, you know, point it out, say, hey, I don't think you're taking me seriously. That's how I would handle it. I would give people the benefit of the doubt. Analytical chick, do I know you? Yes, you just subscribed to me, and I just subscribed to you. You're covering, we were both covering the current issue of Candace Owens, and I believe you are. I just got done watching your intro video in regards to the series that you're going to be making about her. And it does look like you give her the benefit of the doubt as well. So these first 2 questions that are on this subject matter that I'm dealing with in this video kind of seem like they pertain to how you're handling the Candace Owens topic. So, you know, I think it's a good thing. Well, I see you on the same stuff. Yeah. So I do try to be as neutral as possible, and I do give people the benefit of the doubt. I've given Candace Owens the benefit of the doubt, you know, but I do my due diligence. I look at her past. I see how she hasn't addressed her things, her past to the present. She blames other people. This is my current opinion about her at this point in time. No blood pressure. Oh, sorry, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Okay. I'm going to move on to question 3 so I don't get off topic. So question number 3 from this awesome list of questions from the TheSyndicate07. Do we need to listen to people who, for the most part, refuse to consider opposing viewpoints seriously to avoid becoming them? Yes, we do. Because we're all equals, and there are, at least to a point, we do need to listen to them to a point. If they refuse to be listening, then again, it goes back to question 2. Do we need to be wasting our time with people who refuse to listen to opposing viewpoints, or vice versa? If we start acting that way, do they need to waste our time with us? To avoid becoming them. I think if you're of strong mind, you're not going to become something like that, but there is validity to that statement. There's a lot of people, like, again, going back to this Candace Owens scenario, there's a lot of people who are who are acting like sheep and jumping into that pack and just believing her, and just, oh, you know, she's this bright woman who just came out of nowhere. She jumps from the Democratic plantation into the Republican side, and she's a conservative, and everybody's all for her and everything. It's like, you guys don't want to look at her past. I expect you guys to look at my past, and I expect everybody to be, you know, if you want to find information out about my views, criticize me. You know, you guys do that on my videos all the time. You guys always have great viewpoints, and sometimes I learn from you guys as well. This is the reason why I'm answering the Syndicate's questions here, is because this person always brings up great questions, and I want to basically make sure that I answer some of these items on my channel that I wouldn't otherwise be addressing, and yeah, so that's where I'm going with that. So to fully answer question number 3, do we need to listen to people who, for the most part, refuse to consider opposing viewpoints seriously to avoid becoming them? Give them a chance. Give them a chance. These people get less of your time as far as chance is concerned, but after a while you do have to release yourself from it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna say if you're strong-minded, you're not gonna become like them. You will if you know yourself, you're not gonna fall for things that people like this would be throwing at you. You would be strong-willed enough to just walk away, and if they ever wanted to reapproach you again, you can readdress things and then feel them again. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If they don't want to learn, they don't want to learn. Move your own way. I'm going to answer a couple questions here if there is any for me. I'm sorry, I got everyone you didn't get anybody confused. You're fine, man. You got me confused for a little bit, but it's cool. It's cool. That's the whole fun of the channel here. I think it's not healthy to 100% give 100% to any person that's not your family. I agree with that statement. I do agree with that statement. You know, family obviously comes first, and if other people outside of that, you tend to give them less time. You should be giving them less time because they're not really part of your internal your pack. You know, it would take somebody really special, really good friends or whatever from outside to actually be part of that pack, to give them time. So I do agree with you on that. That's just my view. What's your name? What do I call you? You can call me Roger. That's my name. And that's what everybody knows me as on here. I'm going to go ahead and move on to, yeah, Roger. Cool. I'm going to move on to question 4. So we're halfway done with this. Question 4 from the TheSyndicate07, from subscriber TheSyndicate07, is, do we still need to know why, even if people who, for the most part, refuse to consider opposing viewpoints seriously are completely wrong? Yes, we do. And the reason for that is this. Right now, we elect a lot of people into office Republican, Democrat, and all in between, without the majority of us in America, just click R or just check off R or I or L or I'm sorry or D, you know, when it comes to the ballot boxes without knowing who these people are. The reason why we need to know why these people have these kind of viewpoints is because we want to teach them. We want to make sure that, you know what, your vote matters. Your vote affects me in the long run as a citizen. And so when you don't know anything, and if you refuse to not know anything about any certain subject or any certain politician, your reaction after that is going to be affecting me in the long run. So yes, it is worth our time to get to know these people, at least in general, and at least in a general sense, give them some sort of an effort to put something in their brain, even if it's a minute of your time that could probably change something in their life. You might think that there's a lot of people out there that are just ignorant, and that could be further from the truth. And I'll give you an example. When I attended the Killroy event this year, you know, a lot of people looked at me and said, "Oh, you know, you're here to judge the event." Everybody was judging me. They thought I was there to be a negative deliverer of information about the Killroy event. The Killroy event, if you guys don't know, was actually a financial disaster. It was also an attendance disaster. There wasn't a lot of people that actually went to the event. And so I live in Phoenix, and I was there. I bought my ticket in advance, and there were a lot of people that dropped out of this event, and they felt had, because a lot of the original lineup of people that were going to be there, like Sargon of Akkad, Styx Hexenhammer 666, a couple of other big names that were originally part of the lineup, Faith Goldie, ended up dropping out because of a lot of issues that happened. Well, these people were part of the lineup, and they ended up leaving because they were being forced to sign contracts, signed non-disclosure agreements, etc., etc., etc. So long story short, the original lineup where a lot of people already put in money to attend this event changed. And we started getting lower names that people didn't know. Who are these people? You know, why should we even go? So a lot of people started leaving. I stayed because the event was in Phoenix, and I live in Phoenix. So I'm like, well, I'm going to cover it just to see what it's about. So up until that point that I was at the event, a couple of weeks earlier, I was in talks with a lot of people who were critics of the event. And so a lot of people who were organizers, a lot of people who were supporters of Killroy, were already prejudging me. They were assuming that because I was talking to people who were negative about Killroy, they thought I was going to be a negative person there. And I'm like, well, if you watch the videos, if you watch all of those videos, I already said that I was going to be very neutral about the event, and I'll cover it neutrally. Well, when I got there's a lot of people who were already prejudging me. There are a lot of people who were around me just looking at me like, oh, this guy's already going to be prejudging me, prejudging the event. They're going to give a negative name to this event. And so, you know, I got a bad rap when I was there. But then I got to get to know the organizers. I got to get to know a lot of people that were in attendance there. Long story short, there were a lot of people that left that event looking at me as the bad guy. And then there were a lot of people who organized the event, like a couple of the main organizers, who, after I got to talking to them, they appreciated my honesty. They appreciated my neutral standpoint about being very critical when I needed to be critical, giving praise when I needed to give praise, and giving criticism where I needed to give criticism. And then after the event, there were a lot of people that were who were for the Killroy event, who were judging me. They were basically saying that I was the bad guy of the bunch, and I had a bad attitude and whatnot. But then the organizers, you know, they were like, well, we love your honesty. So when people are going to be judging you, you have to be strong enough to know that your opinion matters. You're going to change some views. I changed a lot of views during that event, the way that I covered it. I changed the views of the organizers. You know, they all thought that I was going to be there judging and criticizing them, and so I afterwards, you know, I went on a couple of live streams and with a couple of big names, and a lot of people thought I was going to be dogging the event. To their surprise, I wasn't. You know, to their surprise, I was actually giving praise where credit was due and whatnot. So I just basically wanted to point out what was truthfully, factually happening there with my view, with my perspective in a neutral tone. So To recap on answer number 4, do we still need to know why, even if people who for the most part refuse to consider opposing viewpoints seriously are completely wrong? We do. When one person is right and the rest of the group is going to be giving a negative, not even a negative, when the rest of the group are going to be looking at things in a negative light or even in a positive light, but you're the only one there that's willing to give the truth, it's worth it, because maybe you might resonate to that one person with the 1 minute that you give them information on for any sort of a subject. So it's always worth it. You're going to change somebody's mind whether you know it or not at times. There are people who have changed my mind, and I met them for a minute. They gave me a minute of their time, in my 20s, in my 30s, in my early 40s. They given me a minute or two of their time, and their words resonate in my head. So, yes, it's always worth it. It's always worth it. I'm going to read some of your comments here, you guys. Okay. I had to scroll back a little bit. There's a lot of comments, so thank you guys for commenting. Blood pressure, not good. I love the name, by the way. Very polished, or like this says, not sloppy. Smooth talking black conservative. Oh, Anthony Bryan Logan. Yeah, I love Anthony Bryan Logan. He's very... I didn't like his video. His latest video was the very first time I ever disagreed with him, when he was saying that people should just accept Candace Owens because she's going to give some good. Well, we can also argue that Hillary Clinton was supposed to be the candidate of choice for them, and although she had some issues in her past, everybody was like, oh, well, she's our candidate, she's going to do good for us regardless, the lesser of all evils. Now granted, they might not be looking at Candace Owens this way on the right, but I look at her the same way as I look at Hillary Clinton. I look at her also as the Obama hope scenario. Everybody's looking at her like, oh my God, she's going to be the change that we need in the conservative party here, in the conservative background. No, you ask questions. You criticize me as well. I should be subject to the same kind of ridicule and questions, being in the public spotlight as she is. Her more so, because she's already in that pedestal right now. There's a lot of people who just accept her for who she is, and I don't agree with that, and that's why I call it out. I don't like the fact that Anthony Bryan Logan was like, let her be. This is who she is and whatnot. So that was the first time I ever went against him on something, and I posted it on that video, and I made a follow-up stream this morning about it, and I was, I don't put anybody really high on a pedestal. We're all human. We eat, shit, fuck, piss, and die. We all do the same things. We all have opinions in between. There's no reason why we can't be criticizing other people along the way during our lives. So I love Anthony Bryan Logan. I look up to him like this. He's one of the biggest people I watch every single day, but he was wrong on this. He definitely was wrong on this, and I just felt I needed to give my piece on that, and I still continue to do so. If there's one person that you guys should subscribe to if you haven't already, is Truth or Talk. She kind of thinks along the lines the way that I do in regards to Candace, and also Tree of Logic. Now, Tree of Logic can kind of be a flavor of the month for a lot of people. The way that she's very vocal, and the way that she laughs, and how she delivers information. But let me ask you this: if 2 + 2 is 4, and I've said this many times in my videos, if 2 + 2 is 4, and the person who's delivering you that answer says 2 + 2 is 4, and gives you a bad attitude when he or she says it, are you going to be like, oh no, you have attitude, I'm not going to listen to you? Or are you going to look deep past the aggression? Are you going to look past the way the delivery was made and actually look at the fact that the answer is 4? You're going to do your research. You're going to do your due diligence. There's a lot of people who are so snowflakey-ish that they will get offended at the way that something is delivered. Tree of Logic delivers things very harsh. She delivers things very rough. But she's right. She's right for the most part, especially when you go and do the research as well afterwards. So I don't care how she delivers her information. She is former law enforcement as well. I'm gonna trust her, but I'm also gonna research her as well. I think everybody needs to be doing that due diligence as well on their end as well. So I'm sorry, I'm giving a lot of run-on sentences here, and I'm going a little off topic. But yeah, I love Anthony Bryan Logan. He's great, minus that one thing that we disagree on. Ted Hildebrand sounds like a real. I'm not gonna say that word, but okay. Love your comment, anyways. Analytical chick. I'm pissed that he came out in support of Candace. So am I. You know, I really am too. I've never seen Anthony Bryan Logan ever really give in that easy. Like, why would you question other people in, you know, and their backgrounds, like Hillary Clinton, and the fact that she in the past says, you know, marriage is between a man and a woman, but then now she's saying, oh, I love gays and I'm a gay man, and I'm a smart gay man because I don't like Hillary. I actually think unlike a lot of the gay friends that I have that actually just support her because they think that she's on her side, on their side. And then also the woman, Hillary, who says, oh, we need to bring black people to heal. And then she's now apparently getting the majority of the votes from the black community. It makes absolutely no sense. This is why those first 4 questions that I answered earlier are very important. A lot of people are vulnerable. They think that the easy answer is just because you have a D past your name, because you're a Clinton, because you're a Democrat. It makes absolutely no sense, and this is why we have to be very aware of even the thoughts of people who don't want to really think for themselves, who think like sheep. You have to even ask, you know, give them something to nibble on for a little bit, as far as like something for their brain to process. Yeah, I agree with you, analytical chick. I thought he was going to stay out of it, and so did I. You know, I thought he was. It was very shocking to see that video, to be honest. I've called twice. The breakup. I love your work, Roger. Now the breakup. Is this Christopher? Christopher, I've had live streams with you. I can't see your picture all that well in there, but thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And again, we were supposed to. Christopher and I, last couple of weeks. I haven't gone out for a while, but I went out this last weekend and or 2 weekends ago, and we were supposed to do a live stream, and I said, oh, I'm going to be a couple hours because I'm out drinking right now. I came home, and we just missed time, and he had the stream ready and everything, and he posted it on Twitter, and I feel so bad coming home. I woke up, I fell asleep on the floor. I was at my laptop with it on. I said, I'm ready, and I think I fell asleep, and anyways, yeah. I love your work too, buddy. Analytical chick. Who's Roger? I'm Roger. My name is Roger. Well, you know, ABL is political. He is. I don't want to insult him, but being political is passive aggressive. Yeah, it is. You know, and also in that video that he said about Candace, you know, that we should accept her because she's good for the movement. That's where everybody is wrong. It's not about what's good for a movement, whether it's left or right or center or apolitical or whatever. It's about what's right for, you know, for right reasons, for reasons of advancement, for reasons of all of us spreading the right information. We have to call each other out on everything. We should. You know, Candace Owens is not subject to being just, oh, you know what? She's good for the movement. Let's let her past be okay the way that it is. No, fuck that shit. No, don't. No, she's because of the position that she's in right now, she's subject to being ridiculed as much as possible until she answers questions. She has been very vague about answering her questions. She always thinks that everybody's attacking her. She always plays the race card. She always plays the victim. She blamed the website being up still on her web developer. Guess what? I'm in the development field myself. Guess what? I watched a video recently from Jeff Holiday. And Jeff Holiday is right. All you have to do is go change the name servers. If you don't want the website to be up, it's a 2-minute process. If that. Go tell a developer you don't want the website up, and then he'll take it down. It'll be down in a minute. I've done this hundreds of times in my career. I've been in my career for about 14 or 15 years now. There's no excuse for what she did, and she was collecting information on it. She's being disingenuous. She has a lot to answer to in regards to that. So I do agree with you. I am looking so much forward to I don't know if you guys see her in the chat here, Analytical Chick. Subscribe to her and watch her first video. It is just an introduction, but she's going to be making a series there. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Okay, let's see here. Roger, is this channel The Breakup? Hey, Chris. Who's that? Pub Test. Hi, Pub Test. I don't know who you are, but hello. Okay, I'm gonna go on to question number 5. I'm gonna leave the comments right here for a minute. It looks like it's going wild here, so that's awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, question number 5, and for those of you who are just tuning in, there is a subscriber of mine on YouTube. His name is TheSyndicate07. He or she is named TheSyndicate07. Always has the best questions to ask me, and I never really answer all of them because they're so deep. But this list here just really stood out, and I didn't look at them before I started this post or this video stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on to question number 5. These are all surprise questions to me, except question 1 and 7. I looked at the first and last one, but I really didn't think about them. So question number 5. Will you lose perspective if you shut down your opposition and therefore possibly get momentary applause or praised for winning a particular argument? Absolutely not. For those of you that know me and watched a lot of my content, you'll know that I love being proved wrong. I don't... being right and winning an applause from somebody, that's a temporary... That's not even a victory. That's a temporary award for not for mainstream acceptance, but it's not the end goal of advancement, and that's what I prefer. I don't give a shit if somebody wants to clap for my opposition. Go for it. It tells me that I'm doing a bad job I'm doing a bad job if I'm not able to articulate myself against my opposition for the view that I think is correct for the audience to know. If they're willing to side with the opposition, and maybe the opposition has better points than I do, and maybe, and in my head I'm not always right. No. I don't. Winning a particular argument, that's a small man's award. I don't need to win arguments. I make videos, and again, as you guys know, there's a lot of people that prove me wrong in my videos. I have no shame in it. We're all human. We all can be wrong and we all can be right. It's when you have that ego. That will get to you. You have to at least be willing to throw your opinions out there, whether they're right or wrong, or probably not even right or wrong. Just a statement. Put them out there. It took me a while to really try to get on YouTube and make my channel and be out there. It took me a lot of guts. I didn't really think I had it in me. Now it's a hobby. It's fun, and I'm learning live streaming, and I'm learning. I think I know what I want to talk about going forward. I even subscribe to people I don't agree with. I'm subscribed to Candace Owens. I subscribe to her, and I will never unsubscribe to people. I will never block anybody on my channel. If you have a negative viewpoint about me, I'll say, okay, good point, whatever. I'm not going to be butthurt about it. Their opinions. And if I want to be in an echo chamber, I will block you. But guess what? I don't want to be in an echo chamber. So I wish more people were like that. It's the ego gets in the way. So to answer question 5, will you lose perspective if you shut down your opposition and possibly get momentary applause or praise for winning a particular argument? No, the applause doesn't get to me. They can clap all over my face. I'll still remain collective up here. And again, I say that now. And I'm not in the distraction of a room of a lot of people, but it could possibly happen. So, but I know in my heart of hearts that it's happened in my past multiple times, where I've been in a big crowd, and I don't really care if a lot of people agree with me or a lot of people agree with the opponent that I'm arguing with. I just want to get my point across, and that's all it is. So before I go on to question number 6, I'm going to look through more of these answers here. The breakup. Roger, glad to see you managed to stream without passing out tonight. I know, man, I know. And I even have to go to work tomorrow too. So I didn't have any beer today, so that's a good thing. Analytical chick. I did a Candox video, and I've done them other times. What is a Candox video? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is, but I'll probably see it in the comments below here. ABO is being so passive. Yes, and he's not normally passive. He's normally a very direct guy, but apparently he thinks that just having this other name. Look, look what's happening to the Democratic Party right now. they have all these big names, and they think, okay, you know what, just having them in there because they're big names and they're bringing the crowds in is a good thing. Sure, Hillary won the popular vote in this last election, but she lost the election. You know, it doesn't help. It doesn't help when you have when you're gonna build temporary ground. Look at what happened with Rush Limbaugh when he started taking drugs, when he started saying racist things back in the 90s, I believe. The right lost a lot of people, a lot of followers. He had to rebuild himself back up. So this is another reason why it's a difficult thing for me to accept Candace, you know, because again, you know, there's a lot of people right now that are going to be had. They're going to be like, look, if Candace turns out to be somebody who is a phony, and I do firmly believe after watching a lot hours and hours and hours of footage on her, and people's videos about her and commentary and looking at the way that she still currently acts, I do honestly believe that she is a phony. That's my conclusion at this point. I'm not going to unfollow her. I'm not going to block her. I still want to find out what she's saying because I don't want to be in an echo chamber. I want to make sure that I'm following what she's saying so I can be on top of it and on point. I don't want to be a hypocrite. So, yeah, ABO was definitely very passive in the way that he handled his ideas of Candace, and I think that's probably his first misstep that I think I've ever seen from him in a while at least. Okay. Candace doesn't shit. She probably doesn't. From her mouth, maybe. And that she does, because every time you look at her tweets, when she's arguing with somebody, she's always, you know, she always uses the F word, the F bomb, whatever. So, you know, we all do. But I mean, she thinks that everybody, whenever she's getting attacked, or even that CNN thing, I don't know if, I can't remember who the user is, and it's going to pop in my head here very shortly, but if you type in Candace Owens CNN on YouTube, one of the people that followed me on, actually, I have her right here. Give me a second here, guys. Here she is. Oops, my bad. Never mind, I don't have her here right now. But just type in CNN Candace Owens, and you'll probably see this person's video commentary about her, where she basically, Candace Owens was invited by this person from CNN, saying, hey, you know, I would love to speak with you, you know, on the down low or whatever, maybe you want to talk or whatever. And then Candace Owens comes back and tweets, says, who the fuck do you think you are to do all this and this and this? You shady, blah, blah, blah. I'll post it after I get done with this video commentary if I find it. It's a great video. I just watched it today. But it just, and this is recent. I mean, this is like just a couple months ago. So Candace still attacks people, and she thinks that people are trying to attack her when all this person wanted to do, whether they're CNN or an independent person like us, wants to talk to her, she's already going to assume she's a conspiracy theorist in her head, and yet she makes fun of conspiracy theorists. She thinks people are all after her. Makes absolutely no sense. You know, I don't know where she is. One thing that is very definitive at this point from my observation, this isn't definitive or anything, but I do think that she is an opportunist. I do believe that is true. Hey, Still Rain, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you on here, man. I came from Truth or Talk. Yeah, to my channel. Oh, did she... I don't know if she talked about me or not. I put a lot of comments on her videos, so you probably came in that way, so I appreciate that. Analytical chick. I unsub Truth or Talk because she says Palestinians should get to kill Jews. I don't know that subject. I've never heard her say anything like that, so I can't attest to that. Lucas said that. Amazing Lucas? Now you're going to have me research this. I will get back to you on that. That's pretty interesting. You know, we all have our views, and I think that there's reasons behind a lot of our views. That's a really touchy one, though, for sure, so I'm going to definitely look into that. Okay, so, just scroll down a little bit more. I'm going to try to see if I can find... Okay, so, Still Rain. She has to play the victim. She is still a Democrat. She is. you know, she is. You know, she's trying very hard, and it's weird how my stream right now is turned about Candace, but I mean, she is basically the focal point at this point in time. She's never voted though. Ah, that's a good point. Analytical chick. I don't know if she's voted. I haven't looked at her voting record or anything. But that would be. I can't wait to see that on your video for sure. Okay, so would you attend? Pub Test says, would you attend Killroy 2019? Well, just as an FYI, I've heard from the organizers, directly from the lead organizers, that they're not going to attempt to do another Killroy until 2020. Whether that changes or not, I don't know. I wouldn't mind attending. I wouldn't mind covering it. But if it's going to be outside of Phoenix, probably not. For 2020, I probably would. We'll see what happens. I mean, it would be up in the air. I would only attend just to. I mean, I guess people know me now everywhere for Killroy, so yeah. I'm an if on it. I'd probably say 60% chance that I would. As long as it's in the west side of the United States. If it's in the East Coast, probably less of a chance. That's just my view. Kendox is what they call Candace because she's... good point. That's what they call Candace because she's a dox lover. It's true. She loves to dox kids. She thinks it's appropriate. It's funny how she would love to put people out there on her website. I said this in one of my videos, and I don't think anybody else has said this. But I do. She's talking about everybody being on plantations. And I'm like, well, you know, your server is a form of a plantation. You can control whatever is on there. And you can control, you know, who gets to see it and whatnot. And then who knows afterwards what would happen with that information. So, yeah, you know, she's got her own, she had her own plantation going on. Oh, hey. Red triangle, streaming and not through a potato. Nice. Yeah. I deserve that. Okay, I'm going to read question number... I scrolled down a little bit, but I want to read question number 6. I have 2 more questions to go on this. Question number 6. Is losing perspective if you shut down your opposition and therefore possibly get momentary applause or praised for winning a particular argument a loss that is too costly? Again, no. That comes down to putting the ego first. Why would anybody who's really wanting to make change put the ego first? Well, ask Candace, I guess. But for me, the answer is no. I mean, if I don't care about winning arguments. I care about taking a piece of information from somebody, whether it's somebody I disagree with, and I take a little piece of like, oh wow, I'm going to research that. And or they take a piece of information that we relay back and forth that they can research on. That's what I think is mutual. There's no such thing as costly in this. There's no such thing as a loss. As long as people have open minds and they're willing to learn from each other on things, and then no, losing perspective. Define losing perspective. You know, I don't think any perspective is a losing perspective as long as people are being honest with themselves in the head. If they're not being honest with themselves, then yeah, there's chances for everything to spiral down. Again, look at Candace. I'm going to go ahead and read the last question, and then I'm just going to look at the chats because these look pretty fun. Okay, so the last question on here that TheSyndicate07 asks, is an hour of hate watching a week in exchange for maintaining perspective actually quite a bargain? I don't think bargain is the right word. I would think it's a requirement. And the reason why I say that is because when you see the positives and the negatives and the neutrals in the world, you're able to get different interpretations. I personally think nobody is oppressed in America. Nobody. I do save it for people who have parents, aunts, or uncles who have tied a baby in the basement up until they were 12 or 13 or 14 or however old they are, and they've never seen another person in their life. That's oppression in America. But a homeless person, I've been homeless. A homeless person can go out and get a job, can get temp jobs, save up that money, and eventually get a little place of their own, and then finally find full or part-time work to get themselves off their feet. Now, I haven't gone to that extreme. I was able to get saved by my sister and my mom in the middle of me doing this, but I've been there. I've been homeless, and I know, and I've never begged for money. I've begged it for my family, obviously, but I've never begged money on the streets. Again, the people I would probably feel sorry for most in America are our veterans who are not taken care of, and probably maybe single mothers to an extent. There are some single mothers that I know that do take advantage, like my neighbor, would take advantage of the system to keep having babies, to get more out of the tax-paying citizens like all of us. But no, we're not oppressed. Everybody has opportunity in America. There's other people in other countries who would think of your worst problem right now. The other people that I probably would put down that list as well are probably going to be people who with terminal illnesses, obviously. Obviously, if you, but if you like me, if I have a feeling like, because I love drinking, I'm going to probably have liver damage or liver failure or something. I did that to myself. I have myself to blame. I'm not going to put that on anybody else. That's why I have good health insurance. I have, I'm kind of prepared for a lot of this stuff. But it's about due diligence, if you suddenly just have a disease and it came out of nowhere and it was through no cause of your own, that's, I'm not going to say it's a form of oppression, but I think that I would feel a little bit of sympathy for a person like that. If somebody does it to themselves, like drinks monster drinks all day, goes out and buys, what's ironic is that they can buy 8 Big Macs in a sitting, but they can't, we're limited on other type of things that we can get that are actually healthy for us. So, someone like that I'm not really going to feel sorry for, but that's also on our dime. I don't even know if I answered that last question, but your guys' comments are a lot more interesting than the questions at this point because we're at the end. I want to go ahead and read these off and just see where we're at. Okay, red triangle. Also, all you need to watch on Candace is that brutal sit down with Blair White on the Rubin Report. That shit broke Dave. Well, I don't know if you saw the recent live stream, the 9-hour live stream with that Mr. Medicare hosted with Zoom and a couple of other people. Medicare was basically Rubin not being able to control the audio, not being able to control the panelists. Zoom kept talking above everybody else. It was just crazy. And yes, you're exactly right. Candace, she first just went on that show and just said, I want the audience to know that I'm talking to a man. I'm not talking to a woman. It's there's a certain level of tact and respect that you have to have. And once she broke that out, it's like, all right, you know what, bitch, whatever. You're definitely right about that red triangle. I think people cannot change. I think they can only evolve. Yeah, good point. Evolve. Change. Yeah, we've had that from Obama, right? We were marketed with that, the change campaign. I voted Obama first term. I voted Ron Paul second, and I voted Trump this round. So actually, yeah. I'm missing one. I feel like I'm missing one. So, yeah, I think I'm missing one here. Anyways, underneath, they still the same fucking person. Yeah, they are. And, we have a lot of opportunists here in our world, and we have to be aware of them. We have to call them out. There's no such thing as doing what other people are doing, like conservative Mexican. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's accepting of Candace at this point. I'm not. Truth or Talk is not. Truth or Talk and Tree of Logic, myself, Amazing Lucas, we've all given our 2 cents about why it's very good to actually be critical of Candace. There's a lot of other people who support her. I'm not a sheep follower. I like questioning people. I like questioning myself, and I expect you guys all to do the same. Or that sounds authoritarianism. So no, I don't expect you guys to do the same. I would hope you guys would do the same. So yeah, Killroy 2019, the Tupperware party is going to be amazing. Yes, it will. It will be amazing. It's going to be in Australia, where I could fall asleep in the plates. Let's see. The video he was looking for is CNN. Totally has a plot against red pill black by Gines. Yes, thank you very much for posting that. So if you guys want to watch a great Candace Owens video where she's literally going off the deep end on this CNN person who just wanted to talk. Imagine being in the street. Hey, hey buddy, McDonald's worker, can I talk to you just about your experience? Oh, no, fuck you. Who the fuck do you think you are? It's like that's basically how Candace approached this person. Now, granted, it's CNN, but this person just asked a question. They didn't coerce her into anything. But Candace is very defensive that way. She looks at everybody as being, or she plays the picture of putting people in the public spotlight as they're attacking her, as to show that they're attacking her, and they're not attacking her. But the people who don't think straight, 90% of her followers, 95% of her followers are going to be like, oh my God, yeah, that CNN person, oh my God, I'm glad you put him in his place. They'll follow. And that's what's wrong with America. That's why it's very good to with this question list that I went through, if somebody is not serious about listening to you, at least give them something. Whether it takes 10 or 20 or 30 seconds of your time, give them something. Maybe not, at that point, they're not probably going to question it, but maybe 5, 10, 15 years down the line, they will. And it'll make a difference, and then it'll resonate. Who knows? Plant a seed. Blood pressure, not good. I think your stream turned to Candace because everyone who wants to address the issues have nowhere to do so, while everyone else runs from these glaring flaws in her moral character. Yeah, it probably did. I mean, she's on my mind right now because that's all I've been watching today are videos about her, and I want to see if I've missed something. I want to see maybe the majority of the people are right. That's not what I've gathered. After everything that I've watched today, after everything I've watched the last year and a half about her, I'm still standing by my original idea that she is a shady person, and I think a lot of people, the majority of people just love the fact that she's an independent black woman, and she's supposedly making a progress for the Conservative Party. Fuck that shit. So did Hillary Clinton. Look where it got them now. The Democratic Party is near bankrupt, if not bankrupt already. Who knows what's going to happen in the midterms here? That's why they're coming out with all these crazy ass things with Trump. That's why they're coming out with all these crazy ass things against their opposition. It is what it is at this point. We can see through the bullshit, but all the sheep can't, and that's why it's our job. It should be our job partially to try to help these people out, to at least let them see what the light is. Okay, if you attend Killroy, this is from Steel Rain. If you attend Killroy, I will go too. I will bring my one pixel 360 camera, and we'll play Minecraft with that as well, and we'll be Minecraft characters. That's awesome. That's how my live stream went this morning. I had bad reception, so that's awesome. Great comment. Okay. Red Triangle, congratulations on the 600 plus subs. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love sharing your videos. I've shared a couple of them. I saw your video about the incels, and then I didn't know what that was. And if you guys don't know who Red Triangle is, this guy is very meticulous with the information he has on his videos. He had this one about incels, and I think it was I believe it was an attack. Forgive me for not remembering, but it was about a 20-minute video that you had, and you had me like Googling incels the rest of the night, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is not MGTOW, but it's pretty close to it, and I'm just, very interesting topic. You cover your stuff very well, man. Thank you. Okay, here's pub test at Steel Rain. How much are those 360 cameras? Good question. You should ask Jeff Holiday, to be honest, but I think they were $150. Okay, so we're near the bottom here. Let's start a little bit higher here. Yo, Roger, stay up when you wrap this. Let's stream the breakup. You know what? I'd be more than willing to do it right now, I think. I'm going to probably end this in about a minute. I'm going to read these final comments here. Blood pressure, no good. Roger, you can't help people who don't want to help. Whoops, that went up. You don't want to help people. You can't help people who don't want to help themselves. They will. I'm sorry, I added that word in there. They will resent you for it. That's true for a lot of. Yeah. I guess experience does in my life will pan out that way, that they do resent you for stuff like that. I don't think I've personally have never changed anybody in my vicinity in my life. Maybe online I have. I don't know. It's a good point, but it's still an effort worth trying. That's how I look at it. If it's 30 seconds of my time, it's if it's beyond that, then yeah, I'm not going to give a rat's ass about this person who doesn't want to learn anything. So, and again, maybe I have it all wrong. Maybe they just can't articulate to make me see their view, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they are right. But I really do think I'm right in some instances in comparison to people like that. You bring up a good point. The unuseful idiot. What's your opinion on the Ansi Worski JF Garepi breakup? Okay, I'm glad you asked that. Sorry, I'm getting a cramp. Okay, my opinion on that is that I do believe people need to go their way when they feel that they need to break up. When JF decided that he wanted to leave, that did tear everything. I think that was the start of everything just spiraling down. I think right now, Andy Worski hosts the Kumite in the morning. But I think there was one day, I think it was yesterday, when Tonkasaw had issues with his computer, and I think a couple people, including myself, were wondering like, hey, what's happening here? I do think it was okay for JF to leave. It's ultimately his choice. I mean, I know that Tonkasaw was pretty upset about it, and he was like, oh, fuck you. And I like all of them. I like all the guys. But it ultimately does come down to choice. And granted, if he was making a bad decision or a good decision, I know that Tonkasaw kept saying, oh, you're making a bad decision. It's going to be bad for you. That's what branching out does. If I wanted to leave and go to Mexico and start a new life, and I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do, but my heart was determined to do what I wanted to, I'd do it. I would go out and do it. I think that's what JF did. Granted, I don't watch any of his content anymore. I watch it every now and again for like a couple minutes, but it's just like when somebody has to keep reiterating their IQ over and 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 over again, it gets old. Look, I'm not high IQ. I'm probably average, but I think I'm a reasonable guy. I can hold my own conversation, I think. And I love sharing my thoughts with other people. And I love feeding off of that from other people too. I've learned from a lot of people on here. This is one of the reasons why I've decided to make this live stream, because it's TheSyndicate07. I've learned a lot from this person here as well, and I wanted to kind of pay tribute to one of my subscribers on here. I'm not perfect. I'm not smart. I'm not dumb. And nobody should ever point out somebody else is dumb. Now, in regards to what's happening with Andy and the Kumite right now, I do see it going downhill. I haven't seen anything positive lately from it. I mean, what was today's subject? Eating breakfast or something? I can't remember. I had to kind of tune out. It was something about eating, and I'm like, okay, well. And granted, I know that they always delve into a lot of different topics, but I couldn't put up with it with the way that things have been turning out. So, to answer your question right now, useful idiot or the unuseful idiot, I think it was detrimental, but I think it probably had to be done because it wasn't gonna last. You know, if you want to get out of a place of employment, it's, you know, you should be able to do so on your own will, and a business should be able to handle any sort of after effects from it. To build themselves up. It doesn't seem like that's what's happening right now. I think it's they're on shaky ground. Is how I look at it. It's upsetting. It was fun while it lasted, but we'll see where it goes from here. I'm hoping for the best. Good question. Good question. Red triangle. I do what I can with my potato. We all do. The breakup. Sounds good, brother. Check your DMs on Twitter when you wrap up. Loving the stream. Well, thank you very much for that. I will be checking my Twitter. And if you guys want to continue with me and the breakup, which is Chris, and I don't know who the other person's name is. I apologize because I've never met her. We'll all be live here very shortly together. JF was pushy as fuck. I agree. JF has quite an attitude, and he pulled a mundane Matt by crying, and I'm like, all right, whatever, man, whatever. And granted, we all cry. I cry as well, and maybe I'll cry one of these days on the stream. I can't ever say never. But if I do, I hope you guys make memes. I saw that meme of me. It was kind of funny. It was me. It showed a picture of me. It says before Killroy, and it shows a picture. I think Andre the Giant, and it says after Killroy. It's kind of funny. I think Sarah Hatcherby Sanders made it. Pretty funny. And it's actually, if you watch Cognitive Thoughts channel, he has pictures on repeat on there, and that one always comes on his channel. It's pretty funny. JF says you are low IQ. Good for him. Great. When you can call somebody out on things that they know nothing about, more power to them. Let's see. Okay. Base mama IQ levels. Shame everyone. I agree with that. Well, you guys, I think I'm going to read a couple more here, but I'm going to probably get off in about 2 minutes. That didn't sound right, but I might do both in about 2 minutes. And and you guys can see me on another channel here very shortly. You have a Twitter? Yes, I do. My Twitter is this similar to my YouTube channels. That's just my view, but THATZ instead of an S. So that's with a Z, just my view. So I look forward to, and if you subscribe to me, if you follow me, I will be following you as well. Yes, and the channel will be the breakup that I will be on. Don't you cry. I will do my best not to cry. I don't want to be a mundane fat. Okay. I'm going to try to read one more here, guys. You should have read that with a fake bad French accent. Tell me, type it really quick. Should have read what? And then I'll end it with that. Actually, I'll read this comment from the unuseful idiot in French if I can. Oh, because JF does it a lot of times, right? Law IQ. I'm not good at that. JF is better than I am. The Jordan Peterson. I sound like a mental patient. I'm not even going to try it. Let's see here. Dyson debate. I have not watched the full Dyson debate yet, but I did watch some of it. Is it the one with Dyson and Peterson? If it is, Dyson to me is a racist. The way that he was asking the questions, if it's what I'm thinking of, that just happened a couple of days ago. Am I right on that? Is it that person? Anyways, yes, am I? Okay, great. He was a total fucking asshole racist in that video. I just from what little I caught, Jordan Peterson had absolutely every right to come back with the answers that he gave. Like, how do you know where I come from? How do you know what I've experienced? People that pre-assume people have we all have privilege. We all, especially in America, all of us have privilege. I would go against anybody in a debate on that. So if you know of anybody who wants to debate me on privilege, I'd be more than happy to debate them. I've come from nothing. I slept on the floor all my life, a family of 8, 2-bedroom house. Our bathroom had a sinkhole in it for the majority of my childhood that you could see dirt under. But my parents loved us. They gave us everything they could. I was homeless for about 6 to 8 months. I received helping hands from people. I was a transient for a while. I was a scrub for a while. And then I grew out of all that shit and became a responsible adult. I'm not the best person in the world right now. I'm not the most financially successful. but I damn well try to take care of myself so nobody else has to. Other than that, yeah, well, and a little gold chick. I have no privilege. I don't shit. I love you. I love your attitude. You guys, I'm gonna go ahead and tune out now. Hope you guys follow us on the other channel. I'm gonna continue this here very shortly in about maybe 10 minutes. Go on my Twitter. You'll see it on there on Twitter. I'll post a link to whatever chat we're gonna have now. It's That's Just My View. It's THATZ, Just My View, on Twitter. All right, you guys. You all take care. Oh, how do I get to the other channel? Just go to my Twitter. I'll post a link on there here very shortly when I do receive the link. It's from the... Oh, God, I apologize. Here we go. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? The Breakup. Yeah, just go on my Twitter. When you're done with watching this live stream, if you look at my banner on YouTube, you'll see my Twitter link on there. Just follow that. In a couple of minutes, I'll have the link that he sends me for the live stream on there for you guys, okay? All right, guys. Peace out. Thanks for joining, and take care.